What's good? Right now I am working on a build. Now this isn't a personal build. I got a customer in just last week who brought a bike, an e-bike in that was definitely worn out. It's getting some good use, which is awesome. The customer's son is the actual person who owns the bike, loves the bike. It's just been using it everywhere to working on, and that's what I love about these bikes, is that you got the capability of going, just getting where you need to go, and that's what they're for. But the bike was completely worn out, and right now I'm finding that it needs work. It didn't come in. It came in originally because the wheel was torn up. The spokes, at least 4 broken spokes on the hub motor wheel, and it's no good. So fixing broken spokes on a e-bike hub motor might be a little tricky, mainly because the spokes are thicker than I would say, standard size spoke. It's a bit thicker and much shorter than a standard spoke because the hub is pretty much large. It's much larger than the hub on the average or standard wheel. So the spokes are shorter and they're thicker. I wouldn't even know where to get the spokes if I tried. I'd really have to do some research onto where you could find the spoke, because these hub motors come in so many different sizes. You got 20s, 24s, 26, 27.5. You got 29s. I mean, there's so many different sizes of the hub motors, and like I said, I wouldn't know where to find the spokes. So the spokes were torn up. Couldn't necessarily replace the spokes, so I encouraged them to just look for another wheel, another motor. So they did. They found a good deal on Amazon, got it in, and they could even go a little more with a little more power for the space that they have. That was the first mistake that I made on this build. I encouraged the customer to go with a more powerful battery, but I didn't take into account how much power the battery could handle. That mistake cost myself and the customer precious time. Lesson learned. So they got a 500 wheel. The one I'm pulling off is 250. The battery matches up. It's a 36 volt. Got good amp hours on it. Still works all the same. It will work for the 500 watt motor. I'm going to swap that out for the old one and put the new system on. They can keep the bike. It's a good bike. Nothing's wrong with it. I've gone over the frame. And that was the second mistake I made on this build. The frame was not intact. I found out after I pulled off the rear wheel that it was actually bent. We had to replace the frame, but that's later in the video. There's nothing going on with the frame. Doesn't have a crack, no busted welds. It's looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the bike and then talk a little bit more about what I'm catching on this bike that will definitely need to be replaced for e-bike riders. This is good information. So let me get into that. Invested in my education and willingness to gain experience and dedication to developing skills. This is the journey behind the Cruiser Racer electric bike brain. Alright, so this is the hub motor. This is the hub that came off, and as you can see, we got some broken, busted spokes all over the joint here. Like, this is tore up pretty bad. Yeah, missing some spokes. Looks like it's just about 2 broken spokes, so maybe I misspoke on that. Spoke. Anyhow, 2 broken spokes. not exactly easy to replace. Thicker gauge on that, shorter than the average spoke. In fact, let me grab. All right, here is a standard spoke, and next to this, you can definitely see that there is a significant size difference. Not to mention the height, or the length, excuse me, of that spoke. See that? So it's not easy to replace spokes on these hub motors. So what I gotta do is I gotta take this off and put it on the other wheel. And I also need to, let's see, I've already taken the controller off. The controller is this little tiny guy right here. This little tiny guy right here. So the one that's gonna come out of the box is gonna be much bigger. What I'm gonna do is take off this case and I'm gonna just mount it right here. So that's great. It's got the hole taps already, a good place to put that. And then the battery came off of here. I'm gonna just put that back on, same battery. Yeah, so far, like I said, the hub needed to be replaced and that was the main thing. The crank is fine, no looseness, spinning nicely. Don't feel like this is great. The crank is fine, but the chain is worn out, guys. It is definitely past the limit on that. It is, let's see here. Got, as I hold the camera and find a space. There we go. Look at that. And that's on the 0.5 gauge. Like the chain is done. It's definitely past. And it's a good thing they got a new wheel because the cassette has to be changed over as well. So there's going to be a new cassette on the new bike or on the new wheel. So yeah, look, both sides on the point. Here, I'm going to focus that on the 0.75 and on the 0.5. The chain is completely worn. So they're going to have to replace that chain. Like I said, it's a good thing that the new wheel comes with another cassette. The cassette, because that's more than likely worn out. If that chain is worn that bad, that cassette is probably worn. It's just as bad too. So I found that, and then I also found a loose headset. This should not shake that way, and it is quite loose here. So look at that. That's bad. That's really bad. So I'm gonna have to talk to them about this. I've also found that the brake needs adjustment. I don't know about in the rear because I wasn't able to test it with that hub, but I will soon find out. So yeah, I got a little work ahead of me, and I'm actually very happy that this came my way. I love building. I love putting these bikes together, so I'm happy for it. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with the customer tomorrow and let them know that they're gonna have to replace the chain. They're going to have to do a brake adjustment on the front and possibly the rear. They're gonna have to get that headset adjusted and hopefully not overhauled. And yeah, a bit of work ahead, but it's all good. I'll take care of it. Hey, you. Oh, me? Yes, you. Do you enjoy the content on this channel? Would you like to help us grow? Well, finger the like button and subscribe to this channel. The YouTube algorithm likes to reward these types of behaviors, so don't hold back. Thanks for your support. Now, back to the show.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Game face on when I chase like that. Yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough. Calluses on my hands so rough, yeah, I call your bluff. I'm not the one, mess with me and come out with none. Cause I'm so done, you had your fun. And now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip, put your name on it. But I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
The hub motor is heavy, and this wheel weighs at least 15 pounds. That's what it feels like. So to put this motor on, I'm trying to do it in the stand. And I promise you, this isn't the best way to do it. And this is a rookie mistake, and I know it. The best way to install the hub motor would be to take the bike out of the stand, turn it upside down on the ground, then install the wheel onto the frame. Therefore, the axles would fit into the dropouts perfectly square, and the wheel would be aligned with the seat tube. But I choose to do it the hard way. Yesterday was a sad day for the bike build. I got pretty much all the way done with the build. All I had to do was put on the brake, the caliper, the rear caliper, and the wheel, the hub motor, and tie it all up, get it out to the customer. But this is what happened. To the untrained eye, you can't tell, but this frame is bent. The right side is straight, as it should be, but the left bends in. And as the caliper went on and I put the wheel in to line up the rotor for the disc brake, the disc was rubbing against the caliper. So I pulled it off and took a good look at it and realized that it was bent. Now, if this bike frame was steel, it would be bendable. I could bend it back, but this bike frame is aluminum, and you cannot bend aluminum, nor can you fix a weld on aluminum. When aluminum is bent or a weld is busted on aluminum, your frame is done. There's nothing that you can do about it. So the frame had to be replaced. And this here is going to be the replacement. So I got here this Diamondback response, and everything has to go, like I said, I'm starting from scratch with it. I've already started on installing the fork. I have, only thing I've done so far was put grease on the bearings, and now I'm gonna go ahead and tie this all together. So this is a from scratch build from the top, so watch closely.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
The pain makes it real, I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be
All right, guys, so I'm back in the shop today trying to finish up on the customer build that I've been working on. It's been, I think, about a week or just a little more than a week since I've gotten the bike in my possession and started working on it. But I've run into a lot of problems with the install. But with problems comes a chance to solve them and learn something from it. And I've learned a lot. And I'm very grateful that the customer brought this in and has allowed me to build this bike for their son. So I've got pretty much everything connected. The only thing that's missing from this bike is a set of rear brakes. I've got to get some V brakes that are long enough, with a long enough reach. So I've got those ordered. Should be in tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Today's Monday, so it should be in tomorrow. And then I can go ahead and put it on. They're not really expecting the bike back until Thursday. Then they'll swap this bike for another bike because there's twins. I'm working on one and I'll get the other one in. So I'm quite happy with what's going on. So here we are looking at the new build, which replaced the old frame, and everything's looking good so far. I got the wheel on, or the motor, hub motor wheel. Front one's on. The front one will have a disc brake. I was able to get a fork that had the mount for a disc brake. So this front one will have a disc brake, which is awesome. It's good to have at least one very strong braking system on an e-bike if you can't accomplish it in the rear. So I've got the motor on here and I'm looking for a set of V-brakes. I need something with a long enough reach. I believe this reach here is just about 3, maybe 4 inches or so. And I'm looking for something with a 5-inch reach. I want it to go at least up to here so I have clearance in between the wheel or the tire and the brake cable. So I've got something in. I ordered a pair of Shimanos, which I trust. I love Shimano as a brand, and they're brand worthy. They've got quite a good name out in the industry. So I've got those coming. Another challenge was trying to figure out the mounts for the controller. The battery, of course, I mounted to where the bottle cage would normally go, but the plate where the places to mount the bolts were too far apart to mount both bolts, and so I had to get a little, I had to get some zip ties to mount, but it's good. It's not going anywhere. It's stable. And then I got really creative with mounting the controller as well. So I went through the bag. I put one bolt at the bottom down here and then a zip tie at the top to get this bag to mount in the middle. And it's definitely well out of the swing. There's won't be any interference when pedaling on either side. So there we go. Won't be any problem pedaling on either side. So yeah, it's nice and secured. Got all the wires tucked in, nothing hanging out, so it's secure from the water. And I've got all the wiring tied down with that wire or that cable wrap all the way up. So yep, I have maybe 2 more days of, hopefully 1 more day, but maybe 2 more days left of working on this, depending on how much time I have with the programs that I'm running, helping to run here, and then other work on top of, the daily flow of work that happens at the shop. I'm working on this bike on my own time, after hours, when there was nobody here. As you can see, this is an empty shop today. Yeah, it's a Monday, nobody's here, bike shop's closed. So I'm working on this on my own time, getting it done, but that's the hustle. That's what I do right now. I'm looking to do this to the best possible, make this bike as best as I possibly can, make it so it's efficient, it works, and they're happy with it, so that more business comes to me. So this is it. This is making the brand of Cruiser Racer. This is where we start, where we, build our own bikes and then start building for other people, and this is where it all starts. So hey, welcome to the ride.